right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Elevate Your Grind, brought to you by Cannabis Lab. We're filming live here at the Benzinga Conference at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami, and there is just a wealth of talent at this conference. I am joined here by an absolute rock star in this industry. Yesterday I got a chance to interview Cody Sanchez, who is one of my idols on the investing side, and then as it comes to operators, I don't know if there's anyone better than you. So please welcome from Ianthus, Beth Stavola.
I'm blushing. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, Beth, I've got to be honest. I was made aware of you recently, right? And I'm very upset that I didn't know your story beforehand, because you have an amazing story in this industry, one that not a ton of people have. And so I got to know you through your folks down here at Grow Healthy. VJ and Pablo are amazing guys. They're big supporters of Cannabis Labs. And as I was looking up the chain, I found you and looked into you, and you are like the definitive cannabis entrepreneur.
I so appreciate that and your kind words. I spent most of my career on Wall Street, and I don't know if you know that I have 6 kids also, so I had all these kids kind of during my Wall Street career, 5 girls and a boy. And people say, why are you so passionate about what you do, and you know, why do you keep doing it? And there's, I love the business. I love being part of changing history, and I love for my daughters to know that they can be whatever they want to be.
That's awesome. So I have a 4.5-month-old daughter. I tend to stutter and say years, and then everyone makes fun of me after. But I give you amazing credit, because I have a 4.5-month-old daughter, and I have my wife who takes care of her full time, and I struggle to be able to do both, be a good dad and have a full-time job and everything else. So to raise 6 kids and do what you did is absolutely incredible. So I want to get into your story, because I read an article about you recently, and I saw one of the cool things you said, that one of your greatest accomplishments was not the cannabis stuff, but being the #1 producer at Jeffries. And I believe that's where you started your career, right?
It is. It was the last 10 years of my Wall Street career. And you know what was cool about Jeffries? And it's amazing that it's the 5th largest investment bank right now, because I was at Jeffries when we were building it. We were still a real mid-tier firm, but it was an eat what you kill firm. Mm-hmm. And so it was forced pay equality, really, for women at Jeffries. I produced more than most of the men, so I got paid more.
That's incredible. What do you attribute to your success there? Was it just that you wanted it more than everybody else, or you knew something, you know?
Scrappy entrepreneurial spirit, I would say. And Jeffries' tagline used to be, you know, Jeffries and the entrepreneurial spirit. And I would say I always used being a woman as an advantage for myself. You know, it's sometimes they don't see it coming.
That's incredible. You know what? I've been at networking events for a very long time. I've always been in the space, and I have to say, there are female friends of mine that I say are the best networkers. They know how to work a room. They're charming. They're knowledgeable, and it's incredible to see the hustle behind it too.
Yeah.
So you did something that everybody dreams of. You retired at 39, and then got bored and came back. Just, you know, raising 6 kids wasn't busy enough. Right. And then you started in this industry in 2012, correct?
I did. I bought my first license in 2012. And I quickly had to get rid of the operator, and it was something that happened to the money people quite often, you know, in the early days, where they would get taken advantage of by the operator, who was kind of, you know, an ex-black market tier kind of, and probably 8 weeks in, I realized that I had to get rid of the operator, so I flew to Arizona with my husband, and it's quite the story. There were bodyguards involved, court involved, and I ended up winning. And you know, we had an attorney, and my husband loves to run into him every once in a while, because he would say, "What, you know, just you guys have been successful in your other businesses. Yeah. Just sell this business to this guy for $1." And we had invested $1 million at that point, and I said, I would rather lose $2 million than let the bad guys win, because that's how this business is not going to succeed.
That's dedication, and I'm glad that you did that, because your journey and everything you built along the way, I think, is a cornerstone of our industry, right? With what you did with Health for Life, and then through MPX, and now Ianthus, you guys are a major player in this space. And if it, to me, I don't know the whole Ianthus story, but if it wasn't for that work that you did, we wouldn't have all these great companies in the different states in which you operate. So I want to back up to something when you said you flew out to Arizona. So you're from New Jersey, correct?
I'm from New Jersey.
Where in Jersey? Just 'cause I'm from there.
Red Bank.
Okay, I'm from East Brunswick, so
Okay.
I love people from Jersey.
Me too.
Did you guys move out to Arizona, or were
No,
you commuting?
I was commuting. So it was, and I was really only going to be the investor and act in a CFO capacity. But then when I started seeing checks written to cash, the operator putting a wedding dress for his daughter's wedding on my corporate credit card, I was watching very closely.
Did they even try to hide it?
No, not
Wow.
really.
So you're commuting 5 hours across the country, and you were, to me, it almost sounds like you were strong-armed into this industry. Because you wanted to be a passive investor, and that just did not work out.
It didn't work out. And then when I took over, I just got so passionate about it. And I saw what it was doing to help people on the medical side. And I did a lot of internet deals, in 1999, 2000, kind of the years where, I covered accounts like Alliance Capital and
Okay.
Oppenheimer funds, but I also covered the scrappy hedge funds. And those were the ones that were willing to take the chance on the internet. The thing that's different here is we didn't know that was going to work, right? We know from the FBI database and a lot of other, law enforcement things, how much cannabis is consumed already in this country. So it's really just flipping from the illicit market, working with the regulators, and flipping from the illicit market to, the legal market.
Absolutely. And on that note, I think it's really cool that you have a very, very much a wellness approach to this industry, right? There's a lot of attention to the recreational side of this, and I feel like a parrot when I talk about it, but I truly believe the future of this industry is medical. I mean, you look at, I think, total medical patients in the country is like 2.5% of the population, but when it truly is a medical practice, do you think that's going to be the bigger side of the industry and where companies should focus more of their efforts?
I think it's really health and wellness, and you see this just across our country now. People actually, care about drinking green juices and care about organic food. So I'm a Jersey girl. I used to think like, oh, those fruits and nuts in California, like they're all buying like organic meat, and I'm still buying my meat at Costco. And but California, that lifestyle, they're very much ahead of the curve in so many things with health and wellness. And I think it's just going to be really just like an overall wellness brand.
No, I agree with you. I mean, if you compare it, we go to meetings in New York and we're in cabs and subways and everything else, and you go to California and someone might even show up on a bicycle, right?
Which is great. Yeah.
Lifestyle. So getting into you being, as I'm going to say, forced into the business.
Right.
There's a quote that I read that I really love, and I think anyone who's going to be an entrepreneur or operate a business needs to live by this. I would never ask an employee to do a job that I wouldn't do myself. And so talk to me about that. Was it just the fact that you wanted to learn everything, or that at one point you just kind of had to do it?
I wanted to learn everything, but I also wanted them to know that if I was in town, I will get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go harvest with you, because I want to know how it's done. But I also wanted my employees to know that, I'm side by side with you here.
That's really cool. So you started with Health for Life. And
If you just go back to the last one, I'll just also, it was very important to me when I took MPX public in January of 2017. I would not do it unless I could give every single employee stock option. So every single janitor, every cultivator, every trimmer. So it was just something that was really important to me. And when I sold CBD for Life into Ianthus earlier this year, I gave a lot of that stock to my employees.
That's absolutely incredible for someone in your position to want to give back so much, and I think that's so important. Do you think that you get a lot of loyalty and really good talent because of how well you take care of your employees? I mean, I kind of know the answer, but I just want to hear you say it.
Yes.
So, well, I think I'm going to put my 2 weeks in and I'm going to give a job application to you because it's just incredible. My boss is standing off camera here giving me the look. But so you started out in Arizona, and to me, when I read your story, it looks like you kind of like, okay, we're going to open in this market, we're going to figure out this market, and then we'll move to the next market. And to me, it seems like that's the right path. There's a lot of companies that are just trying to raise capital and raise capital and raise capital when they haven't figured out their first market yet.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point. I think that we've all grown so fast, that we're catching up now. Nevada was an interesting market. It's right next to Arizona, and a lot of the other operators. And I grew up in the business with Steve White, who's an OG from Harvest, and
I loved
Nick.
hearing you call yourself an OG on stage yesterday. You're like, I've been in here since 2012. So I'm kind of an OG, and I'm sorry for cutting you off. But that was just really
That's
cool.
okay. But Nick Vita, so many of the people who run the MSOs, I've been friends with and operating with for a really long time. A lot came out of Arizona, and Nevada was next door, and they had just passed a medical program by one Republican Assembly vote, which is so amazing to see what that was in 2013, and now you go to the Strip and it's Planet 13 and everything else. So I was like, I can do this too. I'm going to go over to, and I remember standing up in front of the county commission and doing my presentation, and there's hundreds of other hopeful, licensees there, and one of the county commissioners said, Ms. Stavola, you have to stop saying Nevada right now. It's Nevada. Like, we know you're not from here. So it was definitely, but God, do I love the people of Nevada. I mean, I've made so many great friends there in operators and
you're
all
not
kinds
just
of
in
people.
Vegas, you're throughout Nevada.
We are. So last year we won 4 additional recreational dispensary licenses.
Very cool, congratulations.
Thank you. The city of Las Vegas, Clark County, which is the Strip, Reno, and Henderson.
Very
So
cool.
we're in the process of developing those right now. We also made an acquisition of a company in northern Nevada called Sierra Well. It is not closed yet because of regulatory issues. So, but that was a great acquisition.
Nice. So out of all the licenses, I feel like there's one that might be a little special to you. What was it like to not only win a license in New Jersey, but to be the highest scored applicant in your home state?
It feels so good. I can't even tell you, because I was operating in these other states and coming back to my home state and knowing under Governor Chris Christie that we had a really pathetic program, frankly, because he really didn't, he wasn't for it. Now with Governor Murphy, who is amazing, and his wife Tammy, the First Lady, is amazing. They, they're really behind this, and so it's really important to me. And a funny story is my husband was having a treatment in California. He's totally fine. But I was saying to him, I'll get the kids on a plane every weekend, and it was when I was writing for New Jersey. And he just said, you will not leave New Jersey until you put that application in. You will not embarrass our family name.
That's amazing, and that's incredible support. So, with the two of you, you guys are both very successful entrepreneurs. Do you think your marriage together with the support system is really kind of a key aspect of that?
Oh my gosh, definitely. He is my sounding board. He is my best friend. He's my partner in life and business, and I couldn't have done it without him.
That's absolutely amazing. It's an incredible story. I talk the same way about my wife. She's not in business, but there's nothing I couldn't do without her, and I'm glad to see that lasts for a very long time.
It does.
So the THC side of the business was not enough for you. So you founded CBD for Life,
Right.
and if I recall correctly, you brought your sister in too, which to me, I love that. I love seeing people bring in friends. I love seeing people bring in family and creating these empires. So what drew you? Was it just the multi-state opportunity or the fact that you can build an online business with CBD, because you are already pretty successful starting in cannabis or
Yeah.
in THC side?
Yeah, so we joked and used to call CBD for Life our side hustle, and I really made the products initially for my own stores because the stores that I created were very much like a store that I would want to bring my mother into.
Okay.
Very inviting, not like you're feeling like you're doing a side alley drug deal or just marble countertops, hardwood floors. But the CBD products that were coming in were really unsophisticated.
Yeah.
They looked like they were formulated in someone's basement or garage in Colorado or Washington.
might have been.
And they probably were, actually. So I went to a friend, her name is Kathleen Kroddick, and she's a very dear, close family friend, and she owns a company called Sweet K, which is a contract manufacturing facility for health and wellness products and mostly cosmetics and fragrances. And I just said, I want to make these products. I know this is like a little sketchy. It was 2015, probably early 16. And I said, I'll make them for my own stores. Would you make them for me? And she said yes. So it's an FDA we started out right.
Okay.
FDA regulated facility, every other federal regulation you could possibly think of. And it was really difficult in the beginning. So we made 8 products to start. And I said, at least I have my own stores, so I'll be able to sell them.
shelf space.
And I get shelf space. At least I won't completely lose my investment. And there were a lot of fits and starts, a lot of shut down Instagram accounts, a lot of shut down Shopify, which was is the B2C online platform. Decided at one point that they were going to shut down all the CBD companies. So there were a lot of fits and starts until the Farm Bill, but my sales force was just incredible, and just Molly Twining runs my sales force.
Okay.
She is a killer, and she's charming. So when she was constantly going into big accounts like Urban Outfitters and all of we're not buying this
in
stuff.
So many traditional retailers,
Yeah.
which is incredible.
Yeah, it's Hudson News is so cool when people are in the airport and they take pictures of the CBD for Life products and they send them to me. It's like, oh my God, I created that.
I give you guys credit because I've seen CBD companies that will call up accounts and they're just like, I have a friend of mine who has a company in the Boca Resort right here in Boca Raton, Florida. They just, nope, we're not doing CBD. Waldorf said no. But you guys, was it just persistence or you right place at the right time, or I just credit your sales team, I guess?
Yeah, incredible sales team, but we have all the right bells and whistles and requirements for a dealers to get comfortable. FDA regulated facility, everything is tested from start to finish. We do stability testing afterwards, whether or not the products can sustain cold or hot. So there's a lot of extra work that we do to make it a truly professional brand.
Now, did you guys start with those standards because you just kind of had the assumption like this is going to be regulated, so let's do it now, or was it just we want it to be clean, so we're going to do this, and it's a way to help us sell it?
I would say we want it to be clean, and we want it to be professionally done. And I did assume that it was going to be regulated at some point by the FDA. So, and fortunately, it was one of my best friends was able to help me out with it.
Very cool. So let's fast forward now because I know you have a lot of stuff to do today, and I'm lucky to have this time with you. You are the CSO of Ianthus.
Yes.
You are all over the place. I saw you at NCIA last week. I'm seeing you here, and I'm sure any other conferences I go to. Love seeing you talk. What is the strategy going forward for Ianthus now that you're on board? Because you crushed it with Health for Life, with MPX, you're part of Ianthus, and to me, it's like people are not acquiring your companies; they're acquiring you because you seem to be the fire on it, right?
Oh, that's so sweet.
What does the future bring for Ianthus? I believe you guys are rebranding your dispensary chains. How do you see the future of Ianthus growing to become one of the largest companies in the world?
So I'll definitely, have a big hand in that branding side of things. We've hired a new senior VP of marketing, who's terrific. I think one of the things that is important, and so as chief strategy officer, I say I do a little bit of a lot of everything. I'm in charge of our writing team, so writing new applications. And we just wrote for Illinois, and I'm a little bit psycho about it. I have to actually physically hand the application in myself.
Wow.
So I did that on New Year's Eve, and I was on a plane back to New Jersey at 7 p.m.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
And we're writing now for on the branding side, I would say I think it's really important. I think to have a national brand and multiple national brands. Like MPX is a brand that it's a real millennial, edgy type brand that appeals to younger people. It's actually BDS did a study on the top 10 concentrates in Las Vegas, and MPX won number 1, 2, 3, and 4.
That's incredible for a place like Vegas.
Right? For Vegas, I'm like, so, and the B rollout, it's such a cool marketing concept, and you could do so much with it. But I think what's really important is it's done regionally, and it's done without taking away from the brands that we've already established. Grow Healthy, Health for Life. So, I think having, and the employees have to have buy-in before the customers do. They're on the front lines, so really educating them as to why we're doing this, and I'm very involved in that.
So you seem to have a very hands-on approach with everything. I mean, just saying that you flew to Chicago to physically hand the application yourself. But honestly, I think that's probably a huge part of your success.
Yeah.
So Ianthus is a very large company, and you guys have grown. There's been a lot of acquisitions. Is it hard to run a company kind of homogeneously when each state kind of operates a little different and there's different laws and regulations? Does that present a challenge to you guys?
Oh, major challenge. Because if you think about it, you can't have one or two factories, in the state and be shipping things out. The CBD business is a lot easier. My factory is in New Jersey. We produce everything there, and we ship it out. So we've got, and the other challenge is making, I'll use the MPX product for example, making the MPX products exactly the same in every state. Yeah. And that's why I'm very happy about the chief operating officer that we've hired. He comes out of the craft brewery industry, but
very appropriate.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And he was chief operating officer of Stone. His name is Pat Tiernan, and he had to make the beer taste the same in 30 countries, all over the world. So in San Diego, it had to taste the same as Berlin.
That's incredible, but the R&D on that must be a great part of the job.
Yeah.
So
nothing's easy in cannabis, nothing.
No, nothing is easy in cannabis. So again, I know that you don't have a ton of time. I want to thank you so much for this. Hopefully we run into each other again and we get to do this. I've done this to everyone here because Cannabis Lab, for us in Florida, it's been a great group network for us. You have 2 rock star members that are really driving the way. So we do a conference in October. If there's any way that we can get you down to present, I would love to invite you down. We'll figure it out.
I'd love to come.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely love to come. And then just one more thing I'll mention, there is a really fun book that's coming out from Random House this summer, and it's called The New Chardonnay. The pioneers of the marijuana industry. And so I'm one of the main characters with Bruce Linton, and it's, I think it's going to be a lot of fun for, it's really written for, the Good Morning America type audience that this industry is, it's fascinating, and it's interesting that people really don't know what the true stories were.
No, and I love the fact that you said it's for the Good Morning America audience, because I think that there needs to be more people like you that people from the outside see, and they see your success with Jeffries, and they see that you're raising 6 kids, but you're also a major executive and investor in the cannabis space and CBD space, and you're putting all that good out there into the world. So for that, I'm excited for that book. I'm not just saying that, I really am. I'm going to try to swindle an autograph copy from you.
That's it's on pre-sale on Amazon right now, but
Go
it
to
doesn't.
Amazon and buy it right now.
It doesn't come out until August 11th, so it should be an interesting,
Well,
fun
let's
time.
get her pre-sale numbers up. Don't buy it for Snoop. Buy it for Beth, because she is the real deal. Not that we don't love you, Snoop. But Beth, thank you so much. It is an honor to sit here and talk to you. And like I said, I'm excited to continue to watch you. I'm a fan. I'm going to continue to be a fan. I'm going to continue to work with BJ, and look forward to hopefully having you back one day.
I would love it.
Thank you
you
so
so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.